Well, good afternoon, everybody. It's Thursday, which means it's time to go live. And for the love of dragons, hello, Araya Anra here, the Dragon Lady. And we've had another interesting question this week. But before I get to that, there's some exciting energies happening today. It is August 8th, Lion's Gate. For a lot of you, you know what that means. Some of you that don't, you've never heard of the Lion's Gate. It's connected with Lyrian and Syrian energies, and it's a big portal. It's a big portal of expansion happening right now. And you've probably been feeling a lot of chaotic energies coming up to this. The end of July, we had quite a few planets in retrograde. We've had a lot of chaos building, a lot of up and down internal emotions driving us. Hi, Lanny. Yeah, you finally caught me live. So, feeling that leading up to today, know that today is that portal. You're going to feel openings. You might feel wiped out. On the other hand, you might feel elated, but you're going to feel things smooth out and expand forward from here forward. If you don't know what Lion's Gate is, do a little Google search. See what else is out there on it, because there's a lot to it, and definitely more than I can talk about right now, but it will help you understand the energies of today. And hello, Shakya. Thank you. Wow, yes, what an 8/8 Lion Portal Day. Indeed, right? Lots and lots happening. And so with that expansion, with openings, you might feel like you've had projects that you've been working on for a while. Hi, Leandro. That you've been waiting for them to finally get done or complete or move into the world, and you'll finally start seeing that stuff align. I gotta say that I have been waiting very patiently. My book, I've been talking about it for a while, is coming out in print, available in print on demand and Kindle now, rather than just the ebook PDF files that we've been doing for 11 years. And I've been waiting since about February. Thought it would be done in May. Things just kept taking longer, and then I was gone for the activations in June. And now, coming to the beginning of August, we're actually within this week probably getting things rolling and online to have those available. So I'm really, really excited. I will announce it maybe next week or with an email blast to everybody. Yes, yay, great news. I know, Melinda, yay. So that I can actually hold one up, because I will have the first 2 copies, one in paperback, one in hardback, to show you physically so you can get excited about them. They're full color, they're gorgeous. And that's one of those things that I've had so many things in the works that my meditations, I've got 4 brand new meditations with the elemental dragons that I've been waiting for them to be finished up with the pro sound technique part, and wow, just got those in. So now I'm just trying to get them uploaded on the website, which may be Monday, which the 12th is an expansion day, the opening of the final freeway home, right? So how perfect is that? And so I will send an email blast out about all of this stuff. And if you're not on the list yet, simple, go to dragonwithin.com, scroll down to the bottom of the page, and just ask to be added to the newsletter list. I don't bombard with newsletters. I don't send them out but once every 6 or 8 weeks, or if there's a big announcement like the book and the meditations available finally, or activations coming up, I'm going to include that as well, hopefully in that next email blast, because we got transmissions coming up for the Mount Kailash expansion, which is in September, going to be carrying forward off of this energy. It started back with our activations in June in Europe, so you're going to be feeling all of that. Hello, Willow. So lots in the works, lots and lots happening, but I bring that up not only to let you guys know what's coming down the pike. We also have the pendants now, the symbols from the book for each of the dragons. I've got those available as pendants, and I just need to get them on the site. So all of this is unrolling, and you too might have in your life all these things that have been sort of been on hold, or gosh, they just feel like they're taking forever. Why aren't they aligning? And letting them come to fruition in their own perfect timing. That's part of the journey, is that trust. Stop controlling it. Stop pushing. Do your action steps as you're guided to. Make that phone call when you're guided to, but allow it to unfold in its natural process, because the timing of the universe and your higher self and your guides aligning it is so much better than our human self can push into place when we push and push and push for something to be done in our timeline instead of its own timeline. Hello, Linda. Good to see you. Hi, Misty. So allowing that, being excited about it, and moving into now our question for the week. Tanya put this one out last week, and I'll be honest, I had to sit with it. I had to have her send me, like, what do you really mean by draconic entities? Because I hadn't come across that term. I hadn't really been exposed to what she might be meaning about that. So I sat with it all week, and lo and behold, the question, what is the difference between dragons and draconic entities? So for me, as I said before, I wasn't real clear what you meant by draconic entities, but I always am so grateful to the universe and to my higher self that aligns things and my guides, because in one of my sessions today, it actually happened where we came across this, what I thought was a dragon, full dragon form, and yet by the end of it, realizing the energy of it, a real reptilian feel to it, what might be considered a lesser dragon, or not that there's any judgment or hierarchy, but one that had been manipulated genetically, still had the appearance of dragon, and yet was in this lower frequency band, turned away from love, had turned, just like many of us do in different existences and encounters. And so I had this real understanding of now what it meant, a draconic entity, that is an entity that can take high wealthy dragon form, and it is one that if you feel into it, so if you're experiencing dragons, the majority of them that you come across, you're going to sense and feel the high frequency love that they carry. They are unconditionally loving beings. They work from very high realms and very high frequencies of love because they have stayed attuned to that. That said, if you're experiencing a dragon-like entity that is definitely not a love frequency, hi Deborah, that is a low down under there, something that definitely does not feel associated with love, feels more reptilian in its frequency, look closer, feel closer, because I would consider that, Tanya, what you are calling a draconic entity, a being that is in what looks or perceived to be a dragon form, and yet if you feel it, you will know the difference and know that, that's not quite the dragon that I'm used to feeling, even though it has this form. And the energy that the information that I picked up earlier while in session was that this was a family of dragons that were created, and they ended up turning away from love and choosing a different path, and that their DNA, much like the human experiment thing that went on where our DNA was manipulated by the reptilian races as well, that it was actually those reptilian races that were responsible for that with that family of dragons. And I don't know a lot more about it. That's the first exposure I've had with it. So as I get more, I will certainly share it. But just knowing that the way you can tell is by sensing, tuning in, and feeling it from your heart space. That is true across the board with any being, entity, being, whatever word you want to use for it. Perceive its form. It can be a being of lower frequency in any form, but tune in. When your heart can open and feel, you will know the frequency that it's operating at. And when you know that it's not of a high loving frequency, you probably don't want to be working with it. You probably want to be wary of it, and you want to pull your guides in and ask and be sure, why is this around? Is this around because, and this one was around because this person was actually bound to it in a previous incarnation as dragon, had an encounter in battle, and was essentially tortured or put into submission to a point until it agreed to be bound on a soul level to this being, to this entity. So went in to clear that and had all of this information revealed. So anyway, I hope that's helpful, Tanya, and everyone else, and everyone that's catching the replay. If you have other questions, feel free to bring them up and let me know what they are. And as I said, I'll share more as I get more about that. Still not fully, I don't feel like I have a full broad explanation for you guys today, other than that of being able to feel the difference between them and where the delineation happened, that there was a separate race of dragons that turned away. But why that was a separate race, why they broke off, when and where they were created. I don't feel like they were originally part of the original dragon realms. I feel like they were created after. So I hope that helps. Yes, the love approach of DNA. Yes. Yeah, DNA manipulation. And that's not the first time we've seen or heard of that kind of manipulation. That's definitely in a lot of the storylines of what's happened here on Earth and why we fell so far out of love and why we have been so affected and had a hard time climbing out of it, getting out of that shift. And so now with this opportunity to realign to light, to realign our DNA and get back in alignment with the truth of us. And that's really what the journey is getting back to our real true aspect, our real true selves. So Lani is saying, I heard that Chinese dragons are not dragons, but another being. Is that true? I'll be honest, in my experience thus far, I don't feel that way, Lani, but I will be going to China in September and having firsthand experiences with the Chinese dragons. So that might be a great question for end of September when I have a real strong sense of interconnecting with them, because I have had incarnations over in the Himalayan region before. And I know that those dragons are very much of the same dragon frequency and races that I'm familiar with. So I don't consider them a separate being, at least the ones that I work with from a distance. But if I experience something different, I'll absolutely announce it and share it with you, Lani, when I get back. I don't know what other kind of being they would be, but I'm open to, because, my belief in the universe is anything is possible. So when we tune in and allow, sometimes it's the questions that bid the information come, because if I don't have that question in my field, like you just asked, Lani, it wouldn't be something that I would normally go and seek information about. So once the question is in the field, then our soul starts reaching out to find the information to have it drawn to us, right? Which is partly why you guys put questions out, and then the information can come and we share it and it clicks and you have aha moments, and the soul sort of brings, the soul brought you here to this group to find some answers to a lot of your questions. So that's the exciting thing about seeking, always asking those questions, because when we ask, the answers will be given. So I love that you guys are asking more, and feel free to email me with questions. I usually catch them in the comments. Sometimes I miss them, but I do keep a list of running questions so that I can attend to them on the future lives. And always pay attention. I'm not always going to come on at 2:00. I had a message, thank you, Tanya, to make sure everything was okay. Was I going to go live today? And sometimes the dragon just can't be pinned down on time. I think it was closer to 2:22 again this week, just like last week. So try my best to be on around 2, but sometime between 2 and 3, you'll find me here. And Willow, I'm sure the dragons are aware of the energies that are happening with the Lionsgate portal, right? Yes, absolutely. Had a very interesting piece of information with that I'll share too, come through in book club this week. We had an energy line connecting with the white lions. We have someone in the book club from South Africa who is very connected to the white lions, and I find that interesting because I have a South African also in my Dragonheart Club right now, or my Dragonheart program, who has a deep connection with them as well. And what we saw connecting was this line of dragon energy connecting out to the white lions. And the white lions showed up on the planet, I'm trying to remember the date she said. I want to say it was 3 to 5 years ago, maybe longer than that. It might have been 35 years. I'm forgetting now. But it wasn't too long ago, in the fairly recent past. And those white lions were coming in. They had the sensation that the white lions were coming to hold space for the planet, to heal and hold the grids for the planet. And in my experience, up until now, the dragons have been, and I have been feeling for quite some time, is, the energy is booming while we speak, isn't it? I've been feeling for some time this passing of the guard coming, this passing of the batons from the responsibility that the dragons have been holding in this realm to what I thought was a new realm of dragons coming in, a new family of dragons coming in, or replacements. And there's the strong potential that it's actually either a collaboration between realms, because the feline realm, which is the Lyrian or the winged lions, golden winged lions, which is those beautiful lion beings. The Devic kingdoms, the angelic kingdoms, and the dragon kingdoms are actually all collaborating now. So there might be beings from all different realms coming to actually hold the grids now. But there was a definite clarity on the white lions and the lion realms, the feline realms, being one of those that are taking the new batons, that as we enter this new era and pass the batons, that the grids and the space for humanity will be held by those white lions. It was also made clear to me that part of the reason that they came back to the planet to actually be here physically and hold that space down in South Africa, where they are, it was because they could be received by humanity. The dragons could not come back into physical 3D form yet. They're showing up in the rocks. That's still acceptable to humanity. They're not too scary. They're not going to attack if they're still like mainly energetic, but showing a physical presence in the rocks or the clouds or the trees or wherever they're showing themselves. But to have a physical actual being birth that you could touch, that you can hear roar, that you can hear moving around and watch moving around, that would still be a bit intimidating for humans to have the dragon show up, although I would love it. But right, hey Leonie, yeah, we're talking about the white lions in South Africa. That they came in actually because they could be received. That one of the beings that could take shape and form of this collaboration was those white lions. And they're very powerful beings, and being able to spend time and connect with them will help you feel that frequency and that big loving heart space. So beautiful for me to see and experience this week, this connection, really deep, strong connection between the dragons and the white lions. Seen it coming for a while, but had real clarity on the information of that share and that passing of the batons. So sort of fun to share that with you guys. All right, well, have a wonderful weekend. Bring your questions. I've had lots of dragon readings and discovery calls lately. Love doing those. So if you've been wanting to reach out, you want information about the program, yeah, right, I want to fly direct to the mountains too, Tanya. I'm going to go flying. But if you need help on your journey, you want that 20-minute discovery call, you want to connect with your dragons, go to thedragonwithin.com, find the book now button on any page or invokehealing.com, and it takes you to my calendar. It only books up to 3 weeks out, so if you don't see anything beyond that, doesn't mean you can't get in the next year. It means you have to keep checking, because I only book up to 3 weeks out. I need to leave space and openness for whatever the dragons call in on short notice. So love those, love doing them. And if you are interested in the program coming up, January 2020 will be the new Dragonheart program, starting off with the first half of the Eye of the Dragon. So I'm starting to take applications for that now. I already have one in. And then we'll start the interview process in October. Early October, we'll be doing the interviews and getting that going to get that next group of Dragonhearts together and get that ball rolling, because it's such a powerful program, as I know any that have done it or are in the midst of it would share, that it's pretty life-altering. It sort of changes the game on everything when you get that deeply connected to your dragon and go through all the foundational steps of initiation into them. So I so look forward to each group, and I'm having an amazing time with our book club right now. We're halfway through, and I think some lives are being changed in book club, which is always profound and amazing to watch those meditations each week. So there will be another book club in October, November, right before Christmas. If you're interested in that, please message me as well. I'll put you on the short list if I have your email address to notify you directly, because I do send personal messages out about those. It's one thing you'll find, I don't do a lot of blast stuff that's mass mailings. I do a lot of personal one-on-one stuff, whether you just bought the book or are wanting to connect with a reading or wanting to get involved in a program. I try to keep it personal, because even though I'm growing and expanding and things are starting to get much bigger than I can handle, yeah, that's exciting too, but I like to keep that personal touch involved, because it's our dragons connecting heart to heart that are making the difference and making progress for you and for me. So hello, Carla. Good to see you on the call. Everybody for the playback, wishing you a beautiful weekend as well. Sending big heart love, dragon hugs out to all of you, and I will see you next week. Bye for now.